Good morning. I don't know if this has started every time. Hey, hello, I'm live. Good morning. I'm going to do a little teaching today on why affirmations are not enough to change the story about your life or to change the story that you tell about yourself, others, and the world around us. This morning I was listening to one of our greatest spiritual teachers of our time on a podcast. I'm not going to mention who. I don't believe in canceling. I do believe in educating from a neuroscience and a trauma-informed lens. And so, as some of you know, I did write a book on this topic as to how we heal through our bodies. And I wanted to explain from a neuroscience and a trauma-informed lens as to why affirmations aren't gonna cut it. So, stories are the last things that are created. When we don't have any nervous system tools, and if we haven't had the education and the practice and the safe container of working with someone who is trauma informed and helping you retrain your nervous system, we can get sucked into some of these new age narratives about affirmations or manifestation, for example. And a lot of times I have a lot of clients that come to me and like, I'm doing all these affirmations, I'm doing a lot of manifestation, and nothing's happening. I'm not tapped into my intuition. Well, of course you're not, because your biology runs the show. And if someone's at least not ever explained to you why, then no, that's not going to work. So, from a trauma-informed neuroscience lens, neuroception is the word to describe our experience of the experience that we have with the internal experience of our bodies, the external experience of the environment around us, the room that you're in, the community that you're in, the family system that you're in, and also in between. So, in between relationships, what is unsaid. Our neuroception is automatic. It's automatic and it's unconscious. It is, I called it your TSA threat detector system that runs in the background. It runs in the background of all of your experience. This is where in a split second when someone pulls out in front of you in a car that you have access to your first level responses. And our neuroception also leads to how we are in the world, our relationships in the world. If you've had bad experiences with maybe some group, like bosses, for example, you're going to be leery about working with a boss. That's something that's very obvious, but there's a lot of things that are not obvious. For example, I could be working with a client, and when we do some somatic experiencing orientation, we can start to get curious about, oh, something on this side of your body, something happened. We don't have to know what happened, but your body is so wise and records the history of what happened. And so then we're working on, well, what happened over here? Through our biology, we're working to change and reshape that, because this leads to physical and mental health conditions at a smaller level. And so I attempted to write a book, and I did write a book on this. However, because of the recession, it's not going to come out. But luckily, Deb Dana did write a book, Polyvagal Exercises for Safety and Connection. She wrote a book, and I have a lot of clients that will buy this book, and they're like, Shannon, I read the book. I'm still struggling. Well, of course you're struggling because of the co-regulation. We actually heal together. So my number one most effective tool with working with clients is me. It is my biology. It's my regulated nervous system, because we are healing attachment wounds primarily, and attachment trauma and traumas that have happened a lot of times relationally through the experience of being together, being held within someone's safe energy, and not only that, it's more than just being a space holder. It's being so skilled in helping to guide someone through some of these trauma and stress responses, these self-protection responses. So the spiritual teacher today was talking about, it's all about perception. Life is all about your perception. And I disagreed because I think it's all about our neuroception. We have to, perception comes later. So I'm hopefully gonna zoom in here and go I have to go backwards here. So I'm trying to show you in her book. So neuroception comes first. Perception comes next, then comes state, then comes feelings, then comes behavior, and then comes story. So I have a lot of, even my well-meaning colleagues are behavior analysts and applied behavior analysis, and we're working on behavior. Right? New age folks are working on perceptions. A lot of people are working on state. What's your mind state? We got mindset coaches out there, and we're missing it. We're missing it. We're missing it because we're missing it with neuroception, because that's what comes first through our biology. And we have to, I'm very interested in the stories. I love hearing stories, but I want to start swimming up the river to neuroception, because there's something we can do about that. When we start retraining the nervous system, we start training that neuroception. We come into our authentic yes, our authentic no. Oh, all bosses aren't scary. I just had one scary boss. Oh, wow. The tinnitus that I had on this side of my body is going away. Wow, my gut dysfunction is going away now that I've worked a little bit more on my nervous system. My anxiety is less. My depression is less. We start coming more into present moment awareness as we retrain our nervous system. I have never come across anything that is more empowering with clients than polyvagal theory and somatic experiencing and integrative medicine. And so I put them all together with a sprinkling of internal family systems. There's trauma-informed mindfulness in there. There's ecotherapy in there. This legitimately is the course that I wish that I had on my root cause healing journey. So I created the Reboot because there was nothing out there like that. And I am teaching, I think it's the fourth or fifth round of it this fall. So there's a free intro to the Reboot where I'm going to provide a somatic safety embodiment practice. If you don't come for anything, if you're like, I don't want to take a class, but I want to start learning how to heal my nervous system, just come for that. So that's going to be online on the Tuesday, September 20th from 6 to 7 p.m. The Reboot starts October 11th and goes to November 15th. It's every Tuesday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Central Time. It will be recorded. There will be a group chat that's available for questions and home play and practice in between sessions. I love that people are on the internet and getting trauma-informed information, but we have to, not only do we have to get that top-down education, but we have to have that bottom-up practice within safety, within a container of a practitioner that can help guide you through the trauma responses. Otherwise, you can read all the books and posts that you want. You can do all the affirmations that you want. If you're still stuck, it's probably the past playing out in the present, the neuroception playing out in the present. And neuroception is everything. It is everything. It can be with foods. It can be with money. It's definitely with people. Neuroception is everything. It creates our perception. It creates our nervous system state. It creates our physical and mental health. It creates our feelings, and especially it creates the story that we have about ourselves. When clients are telling me stories, I know exactly where their nervous system is at, and because I know exactly where their nervous system is at, I know exactly how to guide them back to safety, vitality, and thriving. Our nervous system is actually very predictable. It works in predictable patterns. And what happens with chronic stress and trauma is our nervous system has a faulty GPS address, and it keeps going that direction with all the detours. My work with you is to reboot, retrain the nervous system so that you have an updated GPS address. Our nervous systems actually want to go home to health and vitality. Our society doesn't understand this information whatsoever, and it's not widely taught. And so it's not your fault that you don't know this information. It is your responsibility to heal. And with that, I invite you to two medicines that I'm going to prescribe to you right now. The medicines are curiosity. Why? I'm noticing that I'm doing this. Okay. That's happening. Noticing shifts your nervous system so slightly that it starts to repattern itself. The second is compassion. Self-compassion helps you come into reality. I love you. I'm going to post information in the comments. Let's get curious and compassionate together.